This is the tale of Luminosity, an epic campaign of twists, triumphs, and heartbreaks. 5 strangers stirred, each bearing the weight of their past. Amoradin, Aberforth, Damien, Hadaliar, and Cornelius. Welcome back, traveler. If you love miniatures, lore, and fun facts, you're in the right place. Cornelius von Sweinsteiger. Once, that name was not his own. He was Dreyfus, a sellsword from a nameless village, a man whose life was a tapestry of poor choices and prison cells. Another job, another betrayal, another cold iron bar. But fate, as it often does, intervened. His cellmate that fateful night, an old half-orc with eyes like smoldering embers, spoke not of crimes, but of justice, of a city festering with corruption. Dreyfus scoffed at such notions, yet the half-orc's words lingered, echoing in the hollow chambers of his mind. Then, in the dead of night, the torches outside their cell guttered and died. The door groaned open. Before either could react, 2 orcs rushed in, knives flashing. Garrick sends his regards. Dreyfus could only watch as the half-orc fell, his lifeblood pooling on the stone. The assassins vanished, leaving only silence and death in their wake. Sleep eluded him. Dawn came, but the stench of blood remained. Then, a presence. A black Aarakocra, cloaked in regal robes, emerged from the gloom, his talons clicking against the stone floor. He chose, well, follow me. The Aarakocra led him beyond the town, to a manor shrouded in mist. As they approached its towering gates, the signet the half-orc had given him pulsed with a faint, otherworldly warmth. Present the key. Dreyfus hesitated, then raised the signet. The gates groaned open, as if the very earth acknowledged his arrival. The name is Poe. From this day forth, you will address me as Master Poe. Rest now. Your transformation begins at dawn. Years passed. Dreyfus trained under Poe's watchful eye, his body and mind honed to a razor's edge. He learned the arts of war, the subtleties of diplomacy, and the shadows of deception. No longer was he a mere mercenary. He was a weapon, forged for a purpose greater than himself. One morning, the manor lay silent. No summons, no commands. Master Poe awaited him in the crypts beneath the manor. The walls bore plaques, each inscribed with the same name, Cornelius von Sweinsteiger. At the end of the corridor, an ancient stone tablet loomed, its surface carved with leaves and a scepter. Words etched deep into the stone read, "I am the vengeance of these lands." Poe spoke calmly, "You are ready. This is the name of all who came before you and all who will follow. Bring justice to those who defile these lands." Dreyfus hesitated. Then, with a force as ancient as the stone itself, he spoke the oath aloud. In that moment, Dreyfus ceased to exist. Cornelius von Sweinsteiger had risen. Years later, the streets of Rouen whispered of a rising mafia, mercenaries marked by a double-edged axe, the same symbol worn by Garrick's killers. Cornelius tracked them into the woods, the scent of orcish fires guiding his path. Before he could act, a blade sliced through the air. He raised his shield just in time. The orcish brute before him grinned, rallying his kin with a guttural roar. Wargs emerged from the shadows, their eyes glinting with malice. Cornelius fought, his hammer blazing with divine fury, but exhaustion clawed at his limbs. He faltered. The beasts closed in. As he lay bloodied in the dirt, his grip on his weapon slipping, he whispered a prayer. A surge of radiant energy erupted, tearing through the darkness. The last thing he saw before unconsciousness claimed him was a figure stepping through the light. He awoke in a hospital, the scent of herbs and linen filling his lungs. A pale girl leaned over him, dabbing his forehead with a damp cloth. Strangers stood around him, murmuring in relief. Something deep within told him they could be trusted. He had no way of knowing that these very people would one day stand beside him to save Lumina from its darkest hour, or that, once a mercenary, he would soon become the Wild Mother's champion. And so his story begins. Stay tuned for his companion's tales and the epic saga of Luminosity. If you enjoyed this, like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more miniatures lore and fun. See you next time.